Hey folks, welcome to another VR video. You may recognize the music in the background as being from Oculus Home, and there's kind of a reason for that. It's because I'm about to play some experiences on the Oculus DK2. So, I just wanted to mention, this was the simplest headset setup I think I've ever had, despite the fact that there's tons and tons of warnings all over Oculus Home saying we don't support the Oculus DK2 anymore. When I did my unboxing for the Oculus DK2 a few days ago, I noticed that there were a ton of adapters and things to plug in and things of that nature. Virtually none of those were necessary. The cable that's plugged into the DK2, I plugged the USB side into the USB port. I plugged the HDMI side into the HDMI port on the back of my PC, and it worked just fine. It immediately recognized it in Windows 10. It said, hey, you have a Rift DK2. Installed the drivers. Opened Oculus Home. And that's where things got a little interesting. Because it said Rift Setup was available. I didn't do that. It still says set up your Rift right now on my Oculus Home on the desktop. When I put the Rift on, I think I'll still call it a Rift, right? It's a DK2. When I put this thing on, it says that the DK2 is not supported in Oculus Home immediately, both for playing apps and games or for purchasing from the store. So it claims I can't purchase anything from the store. It directs me to go back to the PC version or things of that nature. But with my library, any game that works with the gamepad, pretty much so far that I've tried to throw at it, has worked. So sit back and relax. We're going to play through probably 5 experiences on Oculus Home. I may also bust out a SteamVR game or two because, like it or not, the DK2 is still alive on both Oculus Home and SteamVR. So stay tuned. It's going to get pretty cool and exciting. Alright, so you can't see it yet because Oculus Mirror does not work with this headset at all for me. It makes a very sideways, garbled mess on my screen. But it does indeed say inside Oculus Home, Oculus DK2 is not supported on the Oculus platform, including games and apps in the Oculus Store. But we're about to check out Lucky's Tale, which is absolutely supported. Alright, so this is Lucky's Tale. It may look familiar. I'm sure I've played it on this channel before, but not with the Oculus DK2. So I am using a gamepad, as is normal with this device. We're going to go ahead and I think we'll just start with my original profile here. It doesn't really make a difference. So we're just going to play through Leaving Home, the first story. Yeah. Hey Lucky, how are you? There's lots of coin collecting in this one. Little seagulls. So far, I can say this. There's definitely a bit more screen door effect, but one of the things that both the consumer Rift and the Vive both suffer from is something called God rays. Now, the non-technical terms are, I don't care about either of those things really, as long as you get a good experience. far, Lucky's Tale has been a pretty good experience. It's honestly one of the easiest games to play. There was even a hack to play this on just a normal PC. And it was originally a free game on Oculus Home, so not quite as free if you didn't have the right hardware, but that also changed with software called Revive. And now there's even Super Lucky's Tale that's available on Windows 10 and Xbox One. So this game spawned a lot of not only workarounds, because it was one of the first free titles, so people were able to test that out, but as you can see, I can look around just fine. Positional tracking and head tracking works great with this particular headset.
Come on!
So there was no integrated microphone or integrated headphones with the DK2. Which for the price I paid is not a problem, but if you had paid the original ballpark price of $350, you also had to pick up those items or be at the mercy of your PC for your audio experience. Play a little bit more of this level, and then we'll move on to another experience. Because again, these are all going to be fairly old titles, but also classics, ones that are still great in VR today. Lucky's Tale is the first real VR platformer on the consumer version of the
Shoot, 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 shoot!
I'm actually going to play at least 2 other platformers in this video that I'm recording. I know back here, fairly possible. Yeah, there were some hidden things there. Didn't need those. I think you can actually take that. Take the shield. No. Must be a different level or a different game. Maybe it's the Super Lucky's that I get. Yeah, this was one of the first VR platform games on the Oculus Home platform. There were definitely other games that worked with the DK2 and the DK1 before it. And platform games that worked with really old headsets in the 90s as well. But as you can see, aiming my head works just fine. The DK2 has one single positional tracking, but if you remember, the original consumer version of the Rift only came with one sensor as well. Now this sensor, it's funny, if I go into the Oculus app on my PC, it says it's not as good because it's a USB 2 sensor. Or it's connected by USB 2 rather. I'm not actually sure what these little chickens do outside of fly around.
Shoot, 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 shoot!
Bit of a caterpillar experience. Oh! The bee stung me. Get over here. hidden ghost coins there. Still another one there. I'm not even gonna worry about it. Let's just go ahead and finish out the level. Not in this for any points, just to make sure that it works. So Lucky's Tale, still a great experience even on the DK2. The Oculus DK2 did have a 1080p display, so it works just fine with games. It does have more screen door effect, so reading text sometimes is a challenge, but in this game the text is huge in front of me, so it works just fine. Alright, so now one of my favorite experiences from 2018. We're going to play some Pixel Ripped. So Pixel Ripped 1989 has been around in various prototype states since the early days of the DK1 as well. And I have to say, again, I've played this on the Rift, I've also played this on PSVR, and the one thing that's different is the controller isn't as tracked as it would be with touch controllers or with the PlayStation DS4. But otherwise, we're going to play through bits of the first world. I'm going to skip the intro. Actually, you know what? Let's do something a little bit different. There's a new Halloween level.
Go outside.
I haven't
and play
played this
now.
yet. Let's check it out. You can go back and watch my old Pixel Ripped video if you want to see content in the first few levels of the game. We're being dragged into the television. This is scary.
You're looking for your next destination.
Nightmares loading. Alright, round one. Find the bee. Okay, let's look for the bee. So I love that I've already got a color portable gaming device. In the initial game, those color devices are a little bit harder to come by. You have to collect a bunch of cassettes to get this. Or diskettes, rather. Sounds like Gollum is growling nearby. Oh, hi there! Hi there, zombie, Halloween characters, just let me panic just a little. Hi, zombie school kids. How do I knock these guys out? I don't seem to have anything I can look at to save me from it's just a bad nightmare. That's fine. So we're going to go ahead and level select to a different level that I know works. So that you can see the actual both in-world and unfortunately I hadn't played that level yet. Skip the intro. Maybe we'll revisit that later. jack-o'-lantern covered school kids coming at me. Pretty scary. Here we are in level 1. About to materialize, the kids will come crowd around me.
1989.
Poor Dot. So again, text is a little bit harder to read. I can still see the "will never defeat the Cyborg Lord" just fine. I can still read the magazines, the game over rubbish, all of that stuff. It's in front of me.
Ooh, hey, what have you got there? I'm telling you. Yeah!
Oh no, they're gonna tell on me. What am I gonna do?
It's amazing. My older brother has a copy. He won't let me play, but he sometimes lets me Let me see. That pixel
One of the
whip.
coolest features is that the longer the collection without getting damaged, the cooler that Dot ends up looking. You notice she gets more and more.
Okay, children, settle down, please. Whatever you have there is not as important as your educations.
I'm getting to my shiny stickers. And a pack of fine sauce.
Back to your proper seats. Now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3 quarters. Quarter.
I'll be your best friend.
That's it. I said shut up and sit down!
Shut up and sit down, sure. Oh no! The angry teacher has appeared. So, one of the coolest features of Pixel Ripped, which makes it one of my favorite games from this year thus far, is the fact that you can have interaction with the portable game in front of you, but also interaction with the real world. So in this case, I'm going to be shooting spitballs through a straw.
Hey, Nicola. Don't let Miss catch you or you'll go to detention.
Now she's distracted.
Anything like me anyway? No,
We're going to go up in the clouds
I am
here.
at my wit's end with you all. Pay attention.
Knock down those lunch pails.
As I
It's in! What a go!
I know I'm missing all kinds of stuff. She'll be back, yeah, there she goes. Let's shoot 4.
pay attention.
It's in! What a go!
That's the laser gun, which is good.
Pay attention.
What will the future be like?
I don't understand. No, I don't. I'm confused. Don't know what's going on and I'm not happy.
Oh well, we missed the secret level. she's gonna be back. We'll do the distraction right there again.
Oh, put that up there. Nothing there will be hell to pay. Anything like it anyway. Oh, God. Whoever put this up there. Pay attention. As you know, the school-wide history... Oh, it really is one of the best planets, if I do say so myself. I always felt a certain affinity for that small ice. Not pompous like Jupiter. It has a certain frigid dignity.
Nice one.
Pay attention.
Go for the app. Oops, I missed.
Oh! Oh, well, you will know the meaning of being sorry. Back! Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Sonya's story has made clear that he only got the job because of who his family was. Time flies. Tea time again. Just what I need to calm my nerves with this bunch of bumbling brats.
This teacher is just... There's a bunch of secrets we're missing, but we're close to the end of the level. I'm gonna finish it out so you can see the boss fight.
It's in! What a go!
Might not make it to the boss fight, especially with everything else going on. I earned the king of football. Alright, so let's go ahead and stop. As you can see, it works just fine. Another classic game that's available on Oculus Home. Now, mind you, it says I can't access the Oculus Store. That's not entirely
Go
true.
outside your world and play now in an incredible
On
new
the-
virtual world.
Oculus Home page, there's some issues. But
The world of Pixel Rift
if
1980.
you go to the Oculus app on your PC, it loads everything just fine. And even in Oculus Home, which is where I'm at right now, it works, and I can purchase things, but only the things that show up kind of in the opening section of the application. So I can't go into the full store and explore. But using the PC app for Oculus or the mobile app now for Oculus, you can certainly purchase and install content. We'll try one more application tonight. This one's sometimes the stuff of horrors. It's called the Climb. Text here as we're in the loading screen, it says touch control and gamepads and such. That text is a little bit harder to read because it's an older display. Now the DK2, as you can see, shows up at the bottom. You can see that it's got a sensor. You can see that I'm using a gamepad. You can see the headset there. This particular application works just fine again. Let's try this here. And we'll just climb a little bit until we fall, because it's inevitable that I'm going to fall. And again, the text is a little bit less readable. This particular headset was actually designed around the internals of a Samsung Note 3, which at this point is a fairly old piece of equipment. But, see, I can chop my hands. I climb just fine. But it's still graphically pretty good. And, you know, the other consumer-grade headsets, they ended up using 2 monitors. This one only had 1. So the separation for IPD that's available on the consumer headsets from hardware is not there. So this may not work for literally everyone, but, you know, for myself, it's a pretty decent headset. Especially for the price I paid. I really got a good deal on this headset. So this is the scary part right here. So scary. I hate jumping like that. Alright, so now we're gonna chalk up our hands again. Without that chalk, our grip is not going to go so well. Alright, I think I can go further. Alright, now here's another... Whew. Let's do right here. Then we'll re-chalk again. Let's re-chalk while we're here on a restful hold here. I feel like I could probably have made it, but let's try.
Whoa!
Whoa! And there's our fall. So that's where we're gonna go ahead and stop. But as you can see, works just fine. You can quit the game. I think it's holding in, yeah, holding in the start button. This is one of the few games I can actually exit out of in Oculus Home. Alright, so this is Windlands. Of course, more recently Windlands 2 came out. But this is the OG. SpiderMan swings on. That's what a lot of people really love about this. There's so much more control in this too. These games look great. Despite the fact this is a much older headset. One of the things I loved about Windlands, this first game, is the fact admire the view for a moment. I mean, look at this. I feel like I need to head up and glowy orbs over there. Under the height requirements there for those. What's the wonderful rock. And another time up. It's still too far. Alright. Let's go back down. There we go. I don't think I can get up there. But either way, as you can see, this is a SteamVR version of Oculus, and it is working just fine as I explore the early jungle level. Again, clunkily, because I haven't played these games in so darn long, and I'm so used to touch controls now. Okay. Let's respawn. So, we'll go ahead and click to the menu. It's so interesting to play these games and explore these games on technology that actually came back out in on technology that came out in 2014. 4 years later, and it's still going strong. I actually picked this up. It's basically brand new in the box. And it's working great. So if you have a VR headset, awesome. If you don't, and you see one of these Oculus DK2 devices available either on Craigslist or eBay or some other local seller, check it out. I paid a very, very, very reasonable amount. I wouldn't pay $100 or hundreds of dollars, but if you can get it for cheaper than that, it may be well worth it to be your first entry point into virtual reality. I'm using the standard versions of SteamVR and Oculus Home right now. Yes, again, Oculus Home said, hey, this isn't supported, but it works just fine, as long as you're using gamepad-based games. Until next time, get out there and enjoy some VR for yourself, and thanks for watching.